In the top right-hand corner of the map, our blue Terran player from Sidestone Gaming. He must win this series if he wants to actually stay alive in this group. He is GuMiho in the top right corner of the map. Taking on the red Zerg in the bottom left from the Shopify Rebellion, it is Lambo. If he wins this, he is still possibly in the running for first place in this group. He's 2-0 right now. He's 2-1 right now. Oh, another win here would put him to 3-1, and then Q and Solar are 2-1. I guess Q is 3-1 actually. Actually, I don't know what the map scores are because it's not quite updated on Wikipedia. Let me actually just quickly update the. You guys mind if I quickly update the Wikipedia page? I think just so I know exactly what the situation is. I do just want to say though, of course, if you're enjoying the stream and stuff, obviously, thank you so much for joining. If this does go on YouTube, because I think this one is a bit epic. I've heard some rumblings in the chat. I do think that this one will maybe be a bit epic, and if that's the case, then it might be on YouTube. So if this is on YouTube, please do consider liking if you enjoy it, or subscribing to the YouTube channel. It goes a long way for us as I just try and get the Wikipedia updated, guys. It should be good now. Sorry if the frames dropped a little bit. That's just tapping out of the game and it not being in focus. It has a frame cap. It's really dumb. Can't fix it. Yeah, so actually, even if Lambo wins 2-0, he can't be first in the group. The best he can do is second by winning 2-0 here. A 2-1 victory, and he would be +2, and then even if Solar 2, so yeah, 2-1. Yeah, a win at all guarantees Lambo second place in this group. A loss, and he could still go out, because if he loses here and then GuMiho beats Solar, he could be eliminated, actually. So it is kind of an important matchup still, as we come towards the conclusion of this group in the WardiTV Summer Championship 2021. $4,500+ on the line here. We've had over $3,500 given out to players in the build-up to this event, in qualifiers, preliminaries, launch events, etc. And it's been a hell of a lot of fun doing all of that, and I hope you guys really have enjoyed, because I've had a great time. It's been honestly one of my favorite events in a long time, this one, I think. I've had a great time with it, so hopefully you guys are all feeling the same. So we will have an Overlord Speed opening here from Lambo. So he wants to open Overlord Speed, he wants to get some scout, and he wants to know what's going on. Getting that up and running. Isn't GuMiho knocked out already? No, it depends on what you kind of want to do. It depends on how the final games go, because he still has to play versus Solar too, so yeah. So it's going to be seeing the couple of Hellions heading down the bottom side. Again, Overlord Speed's about to finish up. Link Speed is on the way. And just going to be seeing that Queen building up as well. Now, what's cool about GuMiho's TVZ lately is, I know GuMiho for a long time, and even when he returning here, I was kind of thinking he's just a bit of a mech god, right? And he just plays mech. But actually, GuMiho has played a fair amount of bio as well. As this game, we're going to see a fusion core coming down. But if this turns into like a 3-game series or something, I actually really think that GuMiho might be able to, might be playing some bio, even though a lot of people will just be like, GuMiho's going to play mech, right? That's just something that we have seen of GuMiho lately. He played mech, played a lot of bio against Rogue in the playoffs of the WardiTV Summer Championship, preliminaries, and all that kind of stuff, basically. So, yeah, some cool potential stuff there as this Hellion comes around, putting some damage out, some drones being chased around a little bit. Just actually having a decent start here as a couple of workers have fallen, and that Hellion is still trying to just about maybe try and escape away. Battlecruiser is on the way out as well, so just bringing that BC up and getting that running. We have our Overlord coming through. I mean, again, waiting to see this BC and see what that will be able to get done early. Obviously, with a BC open like this on Jagannatha, especially because it's Jagannatha, I would tend to expect this to maybe be a mech game. And Lambo seems to think so too, already building up a Roach Roaring, so we'll get a Roach Roaring underway. Well, these few Hellions just try and stay active as a third CC will now start from GuMiho as well. So again, a very quick BC to start. We'll see how that plans out. I'll see how that rolls in a very short amount of time, as those few Hellions do just about get chased away by a Queen or two again. And just going to be seeing our, yeah, battle cruiser is about to be done. So I assume we're just going to follow this as it teleports across the map to see what the hell it's going to get up to. Battle cruiser, take it away! That was perfectly timed. Good job, BC. Waited for me to say my line. Teleports in and just going to be seeing the couple of workers taking some hits. 3 workers going down, but on top of a spore into the Queens. Lambo was actually very well set up to deal with this. So just good defense from Lambo to begin with there. And GuMiho is going to go chase this Overlord around. Just going to get... Ooh, actually is going to get the Overlord kill, so that ain't so bad. A couple more factories are on the way out now as well. So the couple extra factories continuing through. And it is indeed going to be Mech. So, I mean, no surprises there. I think Mech was kind of the expectation. He is going to double armory it as well. So, going to go double Mech with double upgrades. A little greedy, in fact. And maybe something that Lambo will try and take advantage of. Maybe he will try for an aggressive push or so. Maybe that's something he could perhaps bring out during this game. It's a possibility. There's some chances, I would say. That maybe Lambo tries to get aggressive against this, because obviously you've got to look at this as a situation of, well, hey, he's playing kind of a greedy mech style. Who wants to play against a greedy mech player who actually gets into the late game? Nobody does. So what's the best way to play around that? Stop them before they get there. I know, it's the good old tried and tested, right? So yeah, that's that would be my opinion of this. We do see our Hellions back around to the left side. Just going to be seeing them trying to find some ways in. They actually are going to walk right in right now as Slings and Drones setting up. Do end up just backing it up then, all the way back, as we do see a couple of siege tanks on the way out. The BC still building. 1-1 vehicle weapons and plating coming through. And yeah, straight into siege tanks as well, as obviously just you see from Lambo going into the missiles and the Spire. He's just going to play Roach Ravager Corruptor, and like I said, I would not be surprised at all if he's opted for a Roach Ravager Corrupted timing, where he looks to get across the map, be in his opponent's face, and to pretty much put an end to this game more or less right away. BC in the front is pretty low, by the way. We'll teleport out of there. BC 3. BC's 2 and 3 are hanging around here, there, and everywhere, right? There's just battle cruisers all over the shop right now. I'm kind of surprised that they just seem so randomly placed. I'm not sure if there's any logic behind that or what the situation was. Maybe I missed something, but you know, they're just kind of a little bit everywhere. Queens are going to start walking, so this is even going to be Queens brought across the map to try and bust GuMiho down. So Lambo is absolutely going to commit to this aggression, going to absolutely just try and bust on through this. Looking to get that set up. Drones go down on the bottom side. Just going to see those Corruptors coming through and chasing the BC back. BC does have to teleport away. Now, if the Queen walks as well, no 4th hatchery, I mean, he is just super committed. Like, even more committed than these attacks usually are. But, I mean, he obviously truly believes he's going to be able to break through this. There's a lot of tanks, though. I mean, they've got 1-1. Does that actually really help you here? Honestly, I will not lie. The one upgrade thing that I really don't know much about is how well mech upgrades interact with, like, you know, how those interactions work. Something I should probably spend some time reading up on as we do push through. And the Corruptors did not really get towards the BCs initially. Now it's starting to make progress towards them. The tanks are wiped out. And there's still kind of just Queen Corruptor here. There's a couple more tanks actually start to rally down the low ground, starting to turn it around now. We're just going to be seeing our Queens trying to fight against the battle cruisers. The Corruptor's going to turn around as well. BC's taking some damage. SCVs are falling. 13 workers killed. Natural Command Center lifted off. The Corruptor's looking for a BC kill, will not get it. That BC can just teleport away. I don't even know where to. I guess just further back on the left side, somewhere you know the Corruptors aren't going to be able to turn to run to. Oh yeah, I mean, it really is a big deal if you can get those BCs, though, because, well, killing the BCs is actually just going to be a big step in the rest of this game as well. But there's a lot of missile turrets, and SCVs are trying to repair to buy some time as well. And I don't think those BCs are going to end up dropping. I mean, we have still got the 2 of them up and running. And the Corruptor count is kind of in the gutter compared to what it was before, so looking a little rough right now. Archers and Corruptors still trying to move through. This attack of Lambo, it did well. But did it do enough? considering his 4th base still isn't started, considering he's still spamming units across the map, right now he's really hoping he can just overrun GuMiho, because if he doesn't, all of these additional units are just not worthwhile compared to having built a whole new round of drones, etc. So, yeah, that's something I'm kind of thinking about here. Just gonna see those BCs gathering up overhead, just joining up a little bit, see the siege tank moving over, Cyclone moving over. Double Evo Chamber is coming up as well, so Evo Chamber's continuing through. As you see our Cyclone locking on and just chasing that Overlord down to the middle of the map. This was a nice hold. I think the thing is, Lambo is not meant to be able to really win against all the tanks. Because GuMiho has like pure tanks. A lot of the time you come into this fight and there's like Cyclones and stuff here. The tanks just do so much baseline damage that the initial army really gets slowed and lost. So even though you cleared through the tanks, there wasn't much left behind it, right? I think that was a pretty substantial little something to have a look at there, to keep in mind. PCs around the left, just going to be seeing everything else into the center. Hellion Cyclone coming through. Ravager pulling back a little bit. We do see this Hellion still kind of tackling the hatchery just slightly, so putting some pressure on that. We do see the Corruptors also going to come around, actually going to find these the battle cruisers. I was going to say there's a Cyclone 2 out now, but they don't have mag field, so they aren't as good as they usually would be. So they're not kind of as scary to the Corruptors. Lambo's maxed out again. He did take time to build up a few more drones, get some more upgrades going, take a 4th and 5th base. So he's got a bit of a better set behind this, but he's still on Roach Ravager Corruptor, and in a longer game, pure Roach Ravager Corruptor just doesn't do the job. And that's why these attacks are essential. It's like, well, why are you attacking? Well, yeah, because that's the style he's playing, guys. This isn't a case of, oh, that BC teleports to its death. It isn't a case of, oh, yeah, like, it's just like, he could just macro. Like, he doesn't have the army composition to play a longer game, and that's why this attack is happening right now. Now, there is going to be 2 BCs on the bottom side of the map as this happens. The Corruptors will have to chase after them, but that's damage being done, while Lambo will fail to actually break through GuMiho's base once again. Cyclones here locking onto the hatchery, will not quite get it. Well, Lambo's going to lose the spawning pool too. Not sure how influential that will really be on anything, though. I don't think it'll be too big of an issue. I mean, these Cyclones survive, though, and that's nice. And obviously, again, you stay alive back at home. And the longer you stay alive against this composition, which just really isn't all that brilliant, you know, later into the game, the better a spot you're going to be in is GuMiho. You know, time is his best friend right now. Time is ticking into his favor. Cyclone gets an Overlord kill, and other Cyclones are going to make their way up towards the top of the map. Still going to have this Roach Ravager Corruptor force joining up together as well. So it's going to set up and make a move up the right-hand side. Lambo is just really just going to keep trying for this, huh? I mean, I don't blame him. To me, I think it's the right idea. That was a misclick on the burrow. It's the second time I think Lambo's done that today. Burrowed some units when he wasn't really meaning to, I think. Or was it Solar that did it earlier against Max Packs? Maybe it was Solar against Max Packs earlier. It was on Lightshade. Well, Lambo backs away. He knows that's not going to work out, but it's kind of rough because look who's coming your way. Oh yeah, it's GuMiho with everything. And now you've got to fight this at home, so at least you maybe get some defender's advantage, you maybe get some creep on your side, but you are forced to take this fight when this army gets in position, because obviously you can't just let the army kind of, you know, kill your bases. That's a nice bile, a nice second bile, but no follow-up bile, and 2 PCs bottom right are just going to come in. Double Yamato on these Corruptors, and then just going to teleport out of there straight away. So just getting that battlecruiser tax paid from Lambo. Yep, two Corruptors dead. You got to rebuild those because you got to make sure you can still deal with the BCs. It's crazy, right? Those BCs are forcing so much Corruptor production still, and that's what takes up a lot of the gas that Lambo would love to use in a different way. He would love to transition with into something else, but he's got to keep building Corruptors because he's got to make sure he doesn't let the battlecruisers get out of control. And down we go. With this army of GuMiho making the play, making the push, it is going to start getting into position as these tanks will be sieging. A couple of tanks sieging up. Other tanks continue to move forward. The Roach is taking a bit of a beating. A couple of bars coming down. The tanks will split away from that. Going down. Tanks still sieging up. This hatchery going to be in a bit of trouble as well. I mean, this hatchery is going to straight up just go down. Drone's going to have to pull away from this. Across the map, some Roaches burrowing through. That ain't going to make the difference either. I mean, they get caught right away. It's also always so weird, right? Because it's like, it's only 160 supply of GuMiho. Yeah, it's the worst 160 supply you'd ever want to play against from Lambo's point of view. It's a terrifying 160 supply. Cyclones are going to get Corruptors here because they're going to try and caustic spray down this planetary. But SCVs will delay from going down, and actually as the Corruptors die, they will actually be able to save the planetary, and that's why Lambo is just like, GG, this is not going anywhere for me. Taps out of the game and gives GuMiho map number 1 on Jagannatha. How about that? Top left-hand side of the map, and up 1-0 is going to be our blue Terran player GuMiho from Storm Gaming. And the bottom right-hand side, it is going to be our red Zerg player from Shopify Rebellion. It is Lambo. How are you supposed to deal with the BCs without making Corruptors? It's so much wasted gas that does nothing but chase away a BC, and the BC lives anyway. Well, that's the beauty of the battle cruisers. It's what kind of makes Mech a bit more viable again, right? Because these BCs are able to find damage consistently through the game. They're able to slow the Zerg down, and it's what makes the Mech composition maybe the most, actually somewhat viable. There's so many times where you see a Mech player who gets into a good position, but once the BCs are gone, the Zerg can just deal with the Mech army. Because they don't have, essentially wasted supply and Corruptors. So the BCs are, like, essentially taking up, like, supply. And obviously dealing some damage now and then, but mostly just forcing the Zerg to just not have a full army of what's really ideal at dealing with the Terran army. And like I say, there's a reason Mech was dead for a long time. Like, Mech was just not a thing for ages again, right? It was a done thing. And the BC Open has really revitalized Mech as a style once again, so it was very fun to see. And that's why it's so interesting as well, right? Because it's very because there's that kind of balancing line as well, and it's usually like you only ever build like 3 battle cruisers, right? Because 3 battle cruisers is enough to be annoying and to force a reaction, while also not being so much that the Zerg can realistically commit like overly much to dealing with BCs, because your ground army is suffering anyway. There's like that real sweet spot. Some people like 4 BCs, most like 3. It's a sweet spot of where they can cause that kind of effect of kind of wasting Zerg supply on Corruptors without actually it being the right decision. Or, it is the right decision, but it's not the best decision you want to make, really. But you got to make it, Does that make sense? It's actually a really cool, I think it's a really cool aspect of the matchup. I think it's really, really interesting.